You know that feeling when you're walking down a familiar flight of stairs, like in the pitch dark?
Oh, yeah.
And your foot reaches out for that final step, only to find just flat floor, that sudden, like, jarring drop in your stomach.
Oh, I hate that feeling. It's a completely involuntary physical reaction, because your brain is essentially a prediction machine. It had already built this detailed model of reality based on memory, right?
Yeah, mapping out a perfectly safe path down those stairs.
Exactly. And then suddenly the physical world violently disagrees with those expectations. So your nervous system doesn't wait for your conscious mind to, like, figure out what happened.
And no, it just hits the alarm.
Yeah, it just hits the alarm.
It completely bypasses logic, right?
Yeah.
You just freeze.
Totally.
And that exact feeling, that glitch in your brain's predictive software.
Yeah.
That is exactly what a tiny 5-sentence story called The Pendulum of the Silent Park weaponizes.
It really does. It's incredible.
Welcome, everyone, to today's custom-tailored deep dive. We've got this piece of microfiction in front of us, and our mission today is to explore a masterclass in suspense and tension building. We're looking at how this narrative artificially triggers, like, your biological panic response.
Yeah, it's a wild piece of text.
It really is. Okay, let's unpack this, because it's wild to me that an author can completely manipulate a reader's heart rate in fewer words than it takes to write a grocery list. Like, how is this fundamentally unsettling us so quickly?
Well, what's fascinating here is the sheer surgical efficiency of the text,
Right.
Today's journey isn't just about reading a spooky story. It's a clinical dissection of how human psychology, physical settings, and sensory details all interact to manufacture fear.
To actively build it.
Exactly. We are looking at the mechanics of what we might call microtension, achieving maximum emotional impact with minimal words.
And it relies entirely on stripping away your safety nets one by one.
Yeah, using your own biological assumptions against you.
So it starts by taking something completely innocent and just twisting it, right? We have a man walking through a neighborhood park late one evening. And the text establishes that it is entirely deserted. There isn't a single person around. Yet one single swing is moving back and forth by itself.
And if we break down the setting alone, the author is already manipulating our psychological baselines.
How so?
Well, think about a neighborhood park. It's traditionally a space defined by daylight, like kinetic energy.
Right. Community and noise.
Yeah.
Kids playing.
Exactly. It's explicitly designed for children. But when you hollow it out,
right,
when you remove the people and bathe it in the isolation of night, it transforms into this incredibly eerie environment.
Oh, for sure.
The architecture remains, but the purpose is just gone.
Listening to you describe that, it almost sounds like, is there an uncanny valley for physical places?
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
As we talk about the uncanny valley with creepy robots that look almost human, but not quite.
Right, right.
But walking through an empty high school hallway in July or a completely dead shopping mall gives me that exact same feeling.
Yeah, psychologists and architects often refer to those as liminal spaces.
Liminal spaces, right.
It's a space of transition. The architecture itself implies and almost demands a human presence.
So the sudden absence of humans feels wrong.
Deeply wrong on a neurological level. Evolutionary biology dictates that our brains rely on context.
Okay.
When a space designed for activity is utterly still, our threat detection systems go on high alert. The environment is failing to meet its biological criteria for safe,
So the amygdala just starts looking for threats.
Exactly. And then the author introduces the anomaly, the single moving swing.
A heavy metal swing just moving in a dead still park.
Yeah.
But then we get this explicit isolated sentence right after. The text says there was no wind.
Yeah, that's a kicker.
That just ruins it for me.
Yeah.
Because our brain is frantically searching for an outright. We're looking for a logical reason for this heavy chain and seat to be moving.
Free grasp for the weather. Yeah.
Exactly. And the text just casually kicks our last shred of rational explanation out from under us. Does that explicit mention of no wind serve as, like, the ultimate trapdoor for the reader?
It is absolutely trapdoor. Up until that sentence, you as the reader and the protagonist, you're allowed to hold on to a rational parachute.
Right. Cognitive dissonance hasn't fully set in yet.
Right, because a moving swing could be the wind.
Yeah.
Or it could be like residual motion from a teenager who just ran off.
Sure, sure.
But by explicitly stating there was no wind, the text forces you into the realm of the impossible.
It demands you accept a violation of physics.
Exactly. A heavy object requires kinetic energy to move. If there is no wind and no person, the energy is coming from an invisible, unnatural source.
And that is where the dread takes root. You're just trapped by the logic of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't explain it away anymore. I mean, fight or flight should kick in right here. I know I would be sprinting to my car.
Oh, instant.
But he doesn't run, does he? He does something that feels so uniquely modern and so incredibly foolish. Instead of immediately sprinting in the opposite direction, the man stops.
Yeah.
He pulls out his phone to record it, and he physically zooms in on the swing.
Which is a profound commentary on modern human behavior, honestly. Think about the psychology of what the smartphone represents in our daily lives.
Right.
We use technology to validate our reality. If we see something incredible or terrifying or unbelievable,
Our first instinct is no longer to just experience it or flee from it.
exactly, it's to document it. By filming the anomaly, the protagonist is attempting to impose logic on a fundamentally illogical situation.
It's so true. I mean, a UFO could land on someone's lawn right now, and instead of running, 50 people would immediately start live streaming it.
Yeah, we'd rather die with a viral video than survive with a flip phone.
That's hilarious, but true. He's trying to gain some sort of control over the situation.
Precisely. He's trying to turn an active, unpredictable threat into a passive digital subject.
Because if it's on a screen, it's contained.
It becomes a piece of media he can pause, rewind, and analyze later from the perceived safety of his living room.
Right.
It's a coping mechanism disguised as curiosity. Our brains crave control when faced with the unknown, and the smartphone offers a synthetic version of that control.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because I think it's even deeper than just documentation.
Huh.
Using the phone like that is essentially like looking at a solar eclipse through a pinhole projector.
Oh, I like that.
That's staring directly at the blinding, terrifying unknown is dangerous. It's just too much for the brain to process.
Yeah.
So you put a screen between yourself and the threat. The screen acts as a protective barrier, filtering the raw horror of the impossible into a manageable two-dimensional box of pixels.
The pinhole projector analogy is incredibly apt. We see this psychological distancing all the time in high-stress environments.
So the screen offers a false sense of distance and immunity.
Yeah. He feels safe because he has placed a literal pane of glass between his eyes and the anomaly.
Wait, but I have to push back here. Does hiding behind the screen actually make him safer?
Well,
Because if I'm zooming in on a tiny rectangle in my hands, my peripheral vision is completely exposed to whatever is in the dark park around me. Isn't he just blinding himself?
you've hit on the exact fatal flaw the author wants you to notice.
Ah, okay.
Biologically speaking, human vision is split. You have your foveal vision, which is the sharp focus center you use to read or look at a screen.
Right.
And then you have your peripheral vision, which is blurry but highly optimized by evolution to detect motion and impending threats in the dark.
So the phone is a trap.
Exactly. By zooming in, he is voluntarily sacrificing his situational awareness.